Imagine having $1 billion, a mansion, a cool car, and literally everyone in the city knowing your name. Sounds perfect, right? Now imagine you can't sleep, ever. You spend your nights getting punched in the face by a guy dressed as a penguin. Your best friend is an old man who judges you silently. And the last good night you had was when you were 8 years old. Welcome to the life of Bruce Wayne. Welcome to the life of Batman. And spoiler alert, it absolutely sucks. We've all grown up thinking Batman is the coolest guy in any room. No powers, no alien DNA, no magic hammer. Just a man, a cave, and enough emotional damage to fuel a small country. And yeah, on the surface, that sounds kind of badass. But here's the thing nobody talks about. If you actually lived that life, you'd be begging for a refund within a week. Today we're breaking down why being Batman, despite everything it looks like from the outside, is honestly one of the worst deals in fiction. Not because he's weak, but because everything around him is quietly, constantly, brutally terrible. Let's get into it. Okay, let's start with the thing everyone brings up. But he's rich! Yes, Bruce Wayne is obscenely, almost offensively wealthy. We're talking private jets, an underground cave full of military-grade technology, a wardrobe that costs more than most people's houses, and a butler who somehow does everything perfectly without being asked. By every normal measure, this man should be happy. Like statistically, he should be on a yacht somewhere, completely unbothered. But here's the cruel joke. The money means nothing to him. And I don't mean that in a humble, inspirational way. I mean it in a genuinely sad way. He doesn't enjoy it. He can't enjoy it. Every single dollar he spends on himself feels like a distraction from the mission. And the mission never ends. You know that feeling when you have a huge assignment due and you try to relax but your brain won't let you? That low-key panic that sits in your chest all day? Now imagine that feeling, permanently, for the rest of your life. That's Bruce Wayne at every gala, every party, every moment he's supposed to be Bruce Wayne, billionaire playboy. He's there physically, but mentally? He's already in the cave, already calculating, already preparing for the next disaster. The money doesn't buy him peace, it just funds his war. And there's a big, depressing difference between those two things. Now we have to talk about the thing that started all of this. Because you can't understand Batman without understanding that one night in Crime Alley. 8 years old, his parents take him to the theater. A normal Tuesday. A man steps out of the shadows, demands a pearl necklace, and in about 30 seconds, little Bruce Wayne's entire world just stops. Both of his parents, gone, right in front of him. And he's just standing there, in the dark, alone. That's not a superhero origin story. That's a trauma response with a cape. Think about how much therapy a normal person needs after one bad experience. Bruce Wayne watched both his parents die violently as a child, and his solution was to spend the next 20 years training himself to be physically and mentally indestructible. Bro didn't heal. He just converted the pain into productivity. Which, honestly, sounds like something a wellness influencer would call turning your trauma into your superpower. Except in this case, the superpower involves getting shot at regularly, so maybe let's not romanticize that too much. The worst part? He never fully moves past it. Every time he puts on the suit, it's still that little boy in the alley trying to make sure no one else feels what he felt. That's not strength. That's grief wearing body armor. And it never, ever goes away. Let's talk about something painfully relatable, sleep deprivation. Most of us have complained about being tired. Bad night's sleep, early morning, maybe you stayed up watching one too many episodes of something you'd already seen. You feel rough the next day. You get some coffee. Life goes on. Now imagine never sleeping properly. Not as a rough week, not as a stressful month, as a lifestyle choice. Bruce Wayne operates at night. Every night. He's out there patrolling Gotham, chasing criminals through alleyways, hanging upside down from gargoyles apparently, and generally doing things that no human body was designed to do between the hours of midnight and 5 a.m. And then, he has to show up the next morning as Bruce Wayne. Charming, sharp, put together, probably at some board meeting or charity breakfast, smiling at people while running on what I can only assume is Alfred's tea and pure willpower. Scientists will tell you that chronic sleep deprivation causes memory problems, mood swings, weakened immune system, impaired judgment. Basically, all the things you absolutely cannot afford when your job involves making split-second decisions that determine whether people live or die. Batman is literally doing the world's most high-stakes job while being the world's most sleep-deprived person. The rest of us can barely function at work after a bad night. This man is out here stopping the Joker on 4 hours of sleep and sheer stubbornness. That's not impressive. That's a cry for help. Here's something nobody really sits with long enough. Gotham is a disaster. Always. It is perpetually, hopelessly, structurally broken. Corruption everywhere. Crime on every corner. Supervillains escaping from Arkham Asylum with such regularity that you'd think the place had a revolving door. Which, honestly, it kind of does. And Batman has decided, personally, that he is responsible for fixing all of this. Not the government, not a team, not a system. Him. One person. And not just responsible in a general, I'll do my part kind of way. Responsible in an all-consuming, 0 days off, the moment I stop someone dies kind of way. Imagine going to work every day knowing that if you slip up, if you make one wrong call, if you're 1 second too slow, someone gets hurt. And the city you're protecting actively produces new threats faster than you can neutralize them. You fix one problem, 3 more appear. You put the Joker in Arkham, he's out in 6 months with a brand new terrible plan. You stop Two-Face, the Riddler sends you a death puzzle before you've even gotten home. It never stops. The inbox never reaches 0. Most people would break under that weight. Most people would look at Gotham, look at the odds and say, you know what? This might be the most quietly brutal part of the whole thing. Bruce Wayne is surrounded by people. Always. Galas, business meetings, the Justice League, his various protégés. And yet, this man is profoundly, deeply alone. Because here's the problem with being Batman. You can never fully trust anyone. Not because people aren't trustworthy, but because the moment someone knows who you really are, they become a target. So here's where we land. Batman is, without question, one of the greatest characters ever created. The icon. The Dark Knight. The guy who makes the impossible look possible through sheer will and determination. All of that is real, and all of that is genuinely impressive. But the life? The actual day-to-day reality of being that person? It's a nightmare wrapped in a cool aesthetic. No sleep, no peace, no real relationships. Childhood trauma that never fully healed. Enemies who are obsessed with destroying everything he loves. A double life that cost him any chance at genuine happiness. And a city that needs saving again tomorrow, and the day after that, and every day for the rest of his life. We look at Batman and we see the cape, the gadgets, the jaw-clenching stoicism. But if you look a little closer, past all of that, what you actually see is someone who made an impossible promise to a version of himself that was 8 years old, and has been keeping it ever since, at an enormous personal cost, completely alone. And that, if you ask me, is both the most heroic and the most heartbreaking thing about him. If you made it this far, first of all, thank you, genuinely. Drop a comment below telling me which superhero or villain you think secretly has the worst life. I've got a whole list ready, and your suggestions are literally shaping the next video. Like and subscribe if you want more of this, because there are a lot more characters whose lives deserve this kind of honest breakdown. Yeah, that's why being Batman actually sucks.